Hey guys, how you doing? It's 8-Bit Eric. Welcome back to the channel, and I am excited about Breath of the Wild 2. I'm still counting out the days. I know when they gave the update to Age of Calamity, they briefly gave an update for Breath of the Wild 2 saying it's going to take a little bit longer, and the current rumor is that it's going to be out next year sometime, maybe even mid 2021. So just there's not been much of an update beyond just, hey guys, it's going to take a little bit longer. But I just found an interesting article where an analyst predicts something about the sequel to Breath of the Wild, and I wanted to go ahead and give it a little read. So before we begin, if this is your first time coming to the channel, why don't you hit that red subscription button down below, enable your bell notifications, because I'm excited. Zelda's my most favorite game franchise of all time, so I'm counting the days down. So here we go. This says Breath of the Wild 2 predicted to be best-selling game in franchise history, and that's a pretty bold prediction. It seems like these Zelda games get bigger and bigger as they come out and just make tons of money for Nintendo, and I absolutely love them. Now, Breath of the Wild did take out all the normal conventions of most Zelda games, made it a little bit more open world. It had a big third-party type of AAA type of feel to it. It was a very immersive game, very humongous, and I absolutely liked it. Sure, there were some things about it, like lack of actual proper dungeons in the game and stuff, but Breath of the Wild 2, I think, is going to crush it. So let's go ahead and continue this. This is Analyst Michael Pachter predicts that Breath of the Wild sequel could become Nintendo's best-selling game, estimating 40 million units sold. So this is his prediction. 40 million, that's a pretty good grip. Now it says an industry analyst has suggested that a sequel to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild could double the sales of the original game by selling more than 40 million copies, which would make it the Nintendo Switch game is one of the most successful games on the console and has received widespread critical acclaim for the way it updated the gameplay and the classic action-adventure franchise. So probably, I mean, in the grander scheme of things, Zelda is definitely, outside of Mario, Nintendo's biggest smash hit. Now it says, although Nintendo only officially confirmed the existence of Breath of the Wild sequel in 2019, most industry insiders believe that the game has been in development much longer than that. Little is known about the upcoming follow-up, but rumors indicate it could be darker and more mature in tone than its predecessor. So we did see that teaser trailer a couple of years ago where Link and Zelda were down below in like what looked like some catacombs, and there was like a corpse of what might possibly be Calamity Ganon. Definitely had a strange, dark Twilight Princess type of feel to it. I agree. I think it will be much more darker and mature. It says it's likely that Nintendo will reveal more info about the game next year to mark 35 years of the franchise. So, yeah, next year will be the 35th anniversary. People are actually predicting that there will be a 35th anniversary celebration going on. So who knows? Now it says a sequel to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild could significantly outsell the original game. Industry analyst Michael Pachter spoke to Gaming Bolt in an exclusive interview, stating that he believed a second game in the series could sell up to 40 million units, almost double what the Nintendo Switch game has sold since its launch in 2017. Pachter explained that he thinks the bigger install base of the hybrid console should mean it sells even more copies. He explained that Zelda is the best thing that Nintendo does. He goes, I'm not a big Smash guy, but Mario Kart and Zelda are great. This should help it break records for the action-adventure franchise. So I do agree. I think that it will break records here. Now, it goes on to say the install base of the Nintendo Switch will certainly be larger than where it was when Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild originally launched. And honestly, the Switch is still selling like hotcakes to this day. I think this might go on to be the best-selling console of all time. I don't think it's caught up to the Wii just yet. I think it was pretty close to the NES console sales, if not already beat it. I haven't looked at the figures in a while, but it is on pace. I mean, if you look between 2020 and 2017 when the Switch first came out, tons of new users here clamoring for a sequel to Legend of Zelda. Now, it says after suffering from a slow start, the console has had a huge amount of success. In fact, the Switch broke records in August for hardware sales in the month, beating a mark that had been held by the Wii since 2008. The system has now sold more than 60 million units worldwide, beating out the Xbox One. So definitely on pace for some big things. Now it says, although it is impossible to know exactly how successful a sequel to Breath of the Wild would be, it would almost certainly be one of the most popular titles on the Nintendo Switch. That's an understatement. It will probably be the most successful popular title. It says the original game is widely regarded as one of the best entries in the critically acclaimed franchise. Meanwhile, the larger numbers of Nintendo Switch consoles available should mean even more people will buy a potential sequel. So, I mean, definitely could possibly be the most successful game of the franchise just based on the figures of console sales alone. Now, I know when I do live stream and stuff, a lot of people often tell me they've yet to play a Zelda game. I often do not recommend that they check Breath of the Wild out to be their first Zelda game. In fact, I would just say start over from like the originals. Start with the NES ones. Go to Ocarina. Ocarina is personally my most favorite Zelda game of all time, I must say. And I think it set the standard for 3D Zelda games, 3D action games, in fact, like Horizon Zero Dawn and stuff like that. I would say Breath of the Wild is definitely a great game, but for somebody that's new to the series, it has a bit of a learning curve, and it plays a little bit different than most of them. Like, again, it's missing, traditional dungeons. It's not as fast-paced as other ones. I would say Ocarina, Twilight, and Wind Waker are probably the three best that you can get starting out, never having played the franchise. They give a lot of lore, a lot of story to the actual franchise itself. And then, of course, Zelda 1 and 2, which are incredibly hard, Zelda 2 especially. But, I guess you could start at Breath of the Wild. I personally don't recommend it, but it was a great game. And nevertheless, a sequel to Breath of the Wild is something that I'm definitely looking forward to. I've been counting the days since I saw that teaser trailer. I do believe that it has been under development a lot longer than we might realize. I think I've heard a rumor not too long ago that the voice acting is all but finished. And I know there was like a debate on whether that was fake news or debunked or whatever. But one of my buddies has a source that's confirmed that it's basically almost done, that the pandemic basically stalled a lot of things that Nintendo was working on at this moment. So I think it might be a lot further along than we realize it. I don't think it's out of the realm to say a mid-2021 release would be out of the picture. I'm just guessing and venturing on that. But anyways, guys, what do you think about this analyst's prediction? Do you agree that this could be the best-selling game in Zelda franchise history? Let me know your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And if you haven't subscribed yet, why don't you guys subscribe and click that notification bell so you do not miss any further Zelda updates. I'll see you guys on the next one.